Hi all, welcome to the final round of Group A of the Chessable Masters. So, as a reminder, there are two groups, A and B, and both groups have 6 players in them. And the top 4 qualifies for the knockout stages. And the current standings, they are as follows. So we have Carlsen and Artemiev with 5.5 out of 9 leading the group. Then we have Dubov with 5 out of 9, Grischuk and Nakamura with 4 out of 9, and Harikrishna with 3 out of 9. So in essence, Dubov just needs a draw to qualify for the quarterfinals, whereas Nakamura has to win, and even then, he is dependent on the result of the other match between Grischuk and Harikrishna. So Grischuk actually has to win to qualify, and unfortunately for Harikrishna, he is already out of the tournament. I will show both games, starting with the Nakamura versus Dubov, where Nakamura has the white pieces and Dubov has black. And then afterwards I will show the other game as well and prepare for some drama. So the time control is 15 minutes with a 10-second per move increment. And yeah, let's get this started. So let me just get rid of this, and now let's get back to the game. So we have Nakamura opens with e4. We have c5, the Sicilian game. Knight to f3, knight to c6, knight to c3, and now g6 with d5, takes and takes on d4, and now bishop to g7, and we have the dragon on the board. White continues with bishop to e3, black plays knight to f6, and we have bishop to c4. Now castles by black, and bishop to b3. So far, all normal or all theory. We have rook to e8, and now f4 by white. Nakamura has to win, and when you want to win and when you need to win, you attack. So Nakamura plays f4, uh, potentially harming the safety of his king, but he has a nice pawn structure now ready to attack on black's king side. So we have d6, and now queen to f3, bishop to d7, and castles. And already you can see what Nakamura is eyeing at, this lovely square on f7. And Dubov's spider sense has to be tingling here. He has to be very wary of what is coming. So he plays knight to g4, trying to maybe trade off some pieces, trying to simplify the position. And Nakamura plays knight takes c6 with b takes c6, and now bishop to d2. You have to take with the pawn. If you take with the bishop, your knight will fall because it will be undefended. So bishop to d2, not allowing to trade, and also if Dubov decides to take the knight, you can take back with the bishop and create an incredibly strong battery along these diagonals. So Dubov plays d5, striking in the center, trying to improve his position. But now, one of the key moments in the game is f5 by white, and the intentions are clear. He now blocks the defense of the knight, so the knight is now under attack. But also, there's all kinds of threats hanging with maybe takes, and then queen comes to f7. Who knows? It looks already very dangerous and dubious for black here. Even though the computer says it's completely equal, you could argue that white has a much better position here. Um, I want to just show you that the best continuation according to the computer is actually g takes f5 with e takes f5 and knight to f6, knight to a4 and e6. But this seems just well unhuman really to leave this G file so open and your king so exposed. So it's not really human to play such a position. So instead Dubov opted for knight to e5, centralizing the knight, gaining a tempo with the attack on the queen. So the queen retreats to f2, and also here the computer wants us to take on f5, but Dubov decides differently and decides to attack the f pawn another time like this, and now he just threatens to capture and capture with the bishop, keeping his pawn structure good and also getting this bishop to a stronger square. But now Nakamura plays f6, and black has a couple of options here, but you have to be very wary of of this this pawn. And if you remove the bishop like this, you'll maybe get something like this and this, and this is just gonna be there for the end of the game. Maybe takes, and it's a problem for black, and he simply cannot allow it. Um, so after f6, dual flips knight to g4, which is a smart move. He attacks the pawn, and if you want to continue this, we have queen to f3, and now you can take on f6 with e5, knight to e4, and yes, it gets dangerous with the pawn now on hanging on f7. But this is okay for black. I mean, white is clearly in a better position, but it's definitely not as bad as what Dubov did actually on his next move. So let's get back into this position. So instead of taking with the knight, what Dubov did is actually taking with the queen, and this just straight up loses a piece. So Nakamura takes on g4, and probably Dubov thought, okay, it's no problem, I win your pawn, and now with queen to d4, you have to move your king and then can take up your bishop. But Nakamura plays rook to f2, defending the bishop, and now suddenly Dubov is just a piece down. So he continues with f5. Um, Maybe Dubov thought it would be better to give up the piece and keep the pawn structure. Who knows? Maybe he thought the battery on f7 was too dangerous to allow, and he preferred to play with a piece down. So we have queen to f3, and now f takes an e4, queen to f7. I just want to show you what happens if we do this, because this looks better, right? But the queen goes here. I'm just going to show you this line quickly. c5, rook to d1, bishop to c6, and white is just having a clear advantage with perhaps something like this, with a tempo on the queen. Well, it is white is clearly better, but black structure is actually not so bad. But Dubov decides to take with the f pawn, which is also the best move according to the computer. And now we have queen to f7 with check. Queen takes king to h8, and if you take on d7, you just allow just tricks like this, and maybe the rook of the bishop is coming, and you could potentially you will give black some counterplay, which you definitely don't want to do in this situation. So after after king h8, we have queen takes d7, um, and well, e3 would have been the preferred move. Dubov goes with rook to d8. We have queen takes c6, and now rook to f8, still not pushing the e3 pawn. We have bishop to e1 now, and now queen to e3, trying to make use of the spin, maybe get the bishop in here, and we have queen to e6, and now bishop to d4. And now it's actually getting a bit dangerous now. So let's say if you maybe make some breathing room for your king and you play h3, then perhaps black can do this, this, and with this, and he creates some counterplay here. Even though you're still a piece down, of course. But after bishop to d4, uh, white just takes on d5 with the knight, because why not? With queen to e2, preparing now to maybe to grab the rook with the bishop, and if you do something like this, um, actually this wins the game for black on the spot. So it just to show you, you will have to take, and takes, queen to h1, queen to f1, and takes, and this will be checkmate. So you have to be, a little bit careful here, that you don't lose to this. But in fact, Nakamura found uh, the perfect, well, move to counter this. And I wonder if you can spot this, because it's if you see it, it will simply just end the game immediately. So white to play, and has the winning move. So Nakamura played here queen to e5 with check. Yes, this is just this is brilliant, because you will force the bishop away from this diagonal. You will force the bishop away from the pin. So and basically you just if black captures, you can capture the queen, and you'll have a completely winning position with actually two pieces up. So yeah, after queen a5, Dubov actually resigned the game. So an incredible victory for Nakamura. Really well played, incredibly attacking game. And yeah, there was this weird move by Dubov. Where can I see it? Yeah, here with queen with the knight on g4, he should have captured the pawn, but probably he was afraid of what was coming. Maybe with e5, and when the knight is to move, he was maybe afraid for this. You don't know, but now what Dubov played with the queen is just straight up losing a piece, because this didn't work to rook to f2. So yeah, peculiar game. And now Nakamura is has won, and now passes Dubov, and is now waiting for the other game between Grischuk and Harikrishna. And if Grischuk wins that one, unfortunately Dubov will be out, even though he was leading the tournament after round 8. So fast can it go. So I hope you enjoyed this game. I will show the other game also. I will create a video after this one. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment on it. It's very much appreciated, and I will see you in the next one.